Okay, let's try this round 2. Can you guys hear me? Hopefully you can. I see the microphone thing. It's going green. So I had to restart this live because people couldn't hear me before. So hopefully people can hear me now. I'm back. Haven't been on live in forever, but I'm just here to talk. Oh, someone pushed the heart. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, yay. Jesus. Oh my gosh, I was meaning to message you. I got questions for you. Questions for you. I'm glad that the volume works now. Hello, what's up? Long time no talk. Are you coming to our Zoom hangout in October? Because it's October. Are you coming? I think it's going to be October 15. That's the one. That's the one that everyone voted for. How's teacher life and work life? Let's see here. That's good. Are you working today? Got more vascular labs to take care of. Well, hashtag goals. For your last patient, what time is it there? General and cardiac. Okay, so I need tips for like 320. I need tips for teaching. What are your tips on teaching and being a teacher? Because that may be a possibility in my future. Crossing fingers. Need to know if it's worth doing. What do you think? Make jokes? Do they laugh at your jokes? Oh, that's good. I want to love it too. I was going through this research spiral of looking up teacher stuff and becoming a teacher, and then they say some people are made for it and some people aren't. And then I saw that a lot of people are leaving education, but also a lot of people are trying to get into education too. Just like the field in general. Yes, you are hilarious. So we definitely need to come up with some jokes together because I don't have any jokes. You think so? I've been trying to figure out what my next steps are. Especially after hurting my arm. I hope it's educational. That's what I'm trying to do. But I feel like teaching in a professional setting, is it more difficult? You do? Wow, thank you so much for referencing my page. I appreciate it. Hello, friends. I have not been live in forever. Which videos do you reference the most, would you say? And I still am in the process of making a bunch of videos. But right now I was like, let me just try to go live. I didn't really tell anyone I was going live, but I just decided I was going to go live and just see how it goes. They say that like YouTube Live and doing the YouTube Shorts helps the pages now, apparently. You show them the stretching and workout routine? Oh, that's awesome. I should probably do more of those because I've been going to physical therapy and then learning like different exercises, stretches, and workouts to do. I mean, that last ARDMS musculoskeletal thing, there was a lot of people in that YouTube live. Questions to ask if you want to be a sonographer. Okay, that's a good one. Day in the life is going to, yep, that's true. I feel like it's really hard to be consistent on YouTube. I have like a bunch of videos that I need to edit. My phone is full of videos and I just haven't had the time to edit, but I have so many. And our podcast episode is going live this Friday. We got a new episode. Happy October and Medical Ultrasound Awareness Month. Yay. You should film a day in the life of your life, Jesus, as a teacher and a lab instructor and all that. It is our month. October. I love October. Did you try any pumpkin drinks yet? Apparently Starbucks has a new pumpkin drink. And it's like chai pumpkin or something like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I had an interview. Not really an interview, but I talked to someone about teaching. So that may be a thing. Who knows? We'll see. Your life is not boring. I feel like my life is boring, and yet still I have YouTube videos somehow. I think sonographers should have a TV show. I think there should be a TV show that features different sonographers from all over. And then it shows like the things that we go through and deal with. Because there really are a lot of nursing shows and doctor shows. So why not ultrasound technologists? Hi, Jeffrey. Yeah, Jesus, teaching is awesome. I love all of my teachers. If it weren't for my teachers, then I feel like I wouldn't be where I am. And a lot of people wouldn't be where they are today because you got to teach people and people got to learn somehow. Okay, Jeffrey, have you worked in a hospital, private clinic setting, both? What are the cons and pros? That's a good question. I worked in all. I worked in hospital, private clinic. I worked in an outpatient setting. I worked in a cardiac office. I worked at a small hospital. I worked at an over 1,000-bed hospital. I worked in all different settings. The only settings I'd say I haven't worked at is like a 3D, 4D ultrasound type thing because I don't really like OBGYN. And I haven't worked in a vascular lab, but I do vascular in the hospital and at the private clinic settings. I'd say pros, and Jesus can say a lot of pros and cons too on his end. He's done ultrasound way longer than I have, but I feel like pros in the hospital, you learn a lot, you see a lot, you learn a lot of different things. You can take your time a little bit more with hospital patients. It's more like patient care, and you're like dealing with all different kinds of people in the hospital. So people who are sick, people in pain, people who are in their room. So it's like inpatient versus like a private clinic or in an outpatient center. These people usually just like walk in, walk out, or if they come in their wheelchair, they have family members with them who are bringing them there. And that one's a little bit more of you need to almost be a little bit faster because you have scheduled patients. So I feel like that's one of the biggest things between the two, because if you have your outpatient schedule, you have to fit your exam in this amount of time, like a 30-minute, usually 30 minutes if you're lucky. Some places give people like 15 minutes for some reason, but you have to be a little bit faster in a private clinic setting. Or if you have good relations with that setting, you can have them block out like an hour. It just depends. But it just depends on how fast you want to scan. You do learn a lot in a hospital setting, Jesus said. You'll see a lot of more abnormal things in a hospital setting. And you'll typically probably work with more people in a hospital setting versus in a private clinic setting. Cons, I feel like you can make more in a hospital, but I'm not sure if that's like a con of an outpatient facility, because you can have better pay in a hospital, but in a clinic setting, you'll have better hours. You won't have to work night shifts. You won't have to work weekends. In the hospital setting, it's usually 24 hours. You might have to take call shifts are like after hours. So sometimes after 6 p.m. for small hospitals, most of the time after like 9, 10, 11 p.m. for big hospitals. They'll call you in while you're sleeping to go do an ultrasound. So yeah, it just kind of depends. Jesus said outpatient has a lot less pathologies, and hospitals want you to be independent. Yeah, that's true. In a hospital setting, you kind of have to kind of think on your feet. You have to, you might have like 5 stats, meaning 5 exams that need to be done right away, like right now. But you have to organize your time a little bit better. You have to have critical thinking. You have to decide what is more important and which one is more, what's the word? Like which one has priority. Like a pediatric testicular exam has a higher priority than a stat abdomen, for example, in the hospital setting. So you have to decide what kind of setting you want to work in. Fast-paced, or fast-paced, I feel like hospital. Fast-paced is like you need to get to all these different stats, like Jesus is saying, more stats, super stat. Nurses will be calling like, hey, I need this stat arm for DVT, but then you're like, I also have a stat pelvic perula ectopic in the ER, so I'll get there as soon as I can. It's a little bit of a higher pressure, I think, in a hospital setting. Private clinics, usually you'll have a few ultrasound technologists there, sonographers, but I've seen some places that only have one sonographer, so it just depends on where you work. I do have a pros and cons video of ultrasound in general, and then I do have a hospital video that talks about how it works in the hospital, and I have one that talks about how it works in the outpatient setting, so you can look those up too if you haven't seen them. But I personally prefer working in a hospital setting. Even though the hours are crazy, you do probably have to work weekends or holidays. I like the pace of the hospital more than the private clinic setting. The private clinic setting is more so like almost like conveyor belt like you have to get your patient in, do the scan, and then they go. Patient in, scan, and go. And while it's the same at the hospital almost, in the outpatient clinic setting, you're going to have patients who they call walkie-talkies, so they can walk in, they can talk a lot, and then they can walk out. They can complain. They can complain about your way of talking to them. They can complain about the experience. You have a little bit more of like a expectation, I feel like, in the private clinic setting versus in a hospital where they're just there and they need the care. So yeah, it just depends on what you want and what kind of setting you want to be in and how your personality fits. I think everyone should start working in a hospital setting and then go to a private clinic setting if that's something they want eventually, because you get more experience in a hospital. And then it looks good on your resume. I like sleep too, Jesus. I'm lucky that my hospital does not have any call. So if you can find a hospital with no call, that's amazing. Jeffrey said, what has been your worst experience? Hi, Leslie Berringham. Nice to meet you. So my worst experience, man. I don't know if I could say like worst experience, but I could give like different experiences that were kind of on the bad side or difficult side. Like a lot of times the worst experiences to me are like when patients just don't want you to scan them, but I don't know. There's so many different things in the hospital setting as a sonographer or just a healthcare professional in general that you're going to deal with. Like you're just doing your job, and then these patients make it harder for you to do your job. Like if they don't want you to touch them or if they don't want you to do the exam. So you're like, okay, I'm just doing my job. Like I don't need to scan you, but you're just doing your job. And they like yell at you or they become combative or um, they make you feel like almost like, what's the point of doing this? But you have to be really strong. I feel like you have to be really strong in the way that you react to these kinds of situations. Another one that I posted was like one of the hardest shifts I ever had was when I had the fetal demise and um, this gal had a miscarriage. So trigger warning, miscarriage. But yeah, that video was a very hard night because, people were telling me certain things that already made me feel bad about what my job was. Like they were just basically saying like they didn't want to be here anymore. Why are you doing this? Why are you guys forcing, stuff upon me as a patient? And you almost have to be like a therapist or hear things from these patients. You get a lot of trauma from patients, like mentally. And then to see things like physically, like the fetus that I saw in the bed and having to deal with that, you have to be very empathetic and have a lot of sympathy and if you're in a hospital setting, it's really hard. You see hard things. Patients are like vomiting. Patients are like screaming or yelling at you. One in like vascular is like if their pain is in their legs, a DVT study is like the worst study to do because you have to push down on their legs and then they scream and then they shout. So there's so many. It's hard to like pinpoint the most worst case I've ever had because you deal with hard cases every single day. Every single day, there's at least one or two difficult cases, whether it be the patient causing it to be hard or the exam itself is hard. So when people say this job is easy or when they say it's not stressful, I'm just like, man, I just wish people could walk in our shoes as sonographers because it's hard and it's stressful. So quick question, is there some major change that you know of that is changing in the ultrasound work world? I'm in the Seattle area and we have had 2 4-year universities pause enrollment in 2023. Our local 2-year did too. They all say there is some major changes in the work world that the programs need upgrading. Wow. So do I pronounce your name correctly? Is it Lizelli? Which I love, by the way, if I'm saying it right. I mean, your name is so unique. I love it. That's crazy. I have not heard of any major change, but I was speaking to somebody. Oh, Lisa Lee. I love that. Lisa Lee. Yeah, I was actually speaking to someone earlier today who is part of one of these higher educational program things. And we were going over some stuff. And apparently there are things that are like going on. Okay, Jesus, see you in a little bit. Like there are some things I think I can ask people about that and get back to you. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram or email me so I can like contact you because I'm very interested in that. Jesus will also look into that. He's a vascular lab instructor. But I'm just so curious. So do you do ultrasound? Um, the only thing that I can assume is that the only thing I can assume is that maybe they feel like people aren't learning as well as they are or as they should. Or I don't know. I haven't really heard much. But I'm going to ask for you and I'm going to look into that. Let me just screenshot this because I want to know too. And then, so you just finished with prereqs and having to consider because the program paused enrollment. Sometimes too, I feel like depending on where you go, if they're KHAP accredited, you know, it's hard to get in. Jeffrey says most of the time schools are full. Yeah. I think I just had this conversation with someone that it's hard to get people into clinicals nowadays. And getting people into clinicals is really the thing that you need to become a sonographer. Because how else are you going to learn? You're not going to learn in lab, scanning your lab partner. You're not going to learn on a sonosim or sonosim. Do you guys say sono or sono? But you're not going to learn everything from these little handheld probes. You need to get clinical experience. And I feel like that is probably one of the biggest issues. If you, Lashana says, I would think it has to do with bioeffects and or technology improving. I mean, a lot of people are curious about AI and technology, but I don't know. It's not something that people have been really talking about. So yeah, but that's a good question. Thank you for bringing it up, Lisa Lee. I'm definitely going to do some looking into that. But if you do need help, join our Discord, maybe bring up the conversation and see if there's any other schools or something else you can do without dropping completely, especially if you finish your prereqs already. Would you ever consider going to another school? Okay. Do you wish you did nursing now that you know how hard sonography actually is? That's a good question. I feel like if you know how hard sonography is, the thing about sonography is there's not much movement in the sonography field. So I do say, yeah, there's a lot of other things you can do after sonography, but with nursing, there's way more things. Like if you want to move out of the clinical side, out of the clinical side of things, and you want to stop doing bedside ultrasound or bedside nursing, you can go do other things. You can be a coordinator. You can be working in home health. You can do all these other things. With ultrasound and sonography, you really have limited options compared to nursing. My mom's a nurse, and I see all the nurses and what they do. I know I could not do bedside nursing, but knowing what it is now, I would still do ultrasound. Nursing is also very difficult. If sonography is hard, I feel like nursing is even harder than that. So I always give props to the nurses because it's a hard job. I know I couldn't do it, but I still find the challenges of sonography being a lot more doable for me personally. Sometimes for people, nursing is better. Sonography is such a different world. I just wish, you know how I do the day in the lives? I just wish that people could see what I'm actually doing. Like, I wish I could do a video of like what I'm actually doing, how I'm actually scanning, what's going on in my brain. I feel like people would be so much more intrigued about what I'm doing, and what I'm actively doing while I'm scanning a patient. It's kind of cool. Maybe I should do something like, what am I thinking about when I do an abdomen exam? Or what am I thinking about when I scan an OBGYN patient? Because we're constantly thinking in our brains. But yeah, I would still stick with sonography. But if you have to figure out between nursing and sonography, I say do your research and see which one you'd rather do. And especially in the long run, I could still go back to school and do nursing if I wanted, do the nursing program, and then move out of bedside nursing. I could do that, but I don't know if I want to. Hi, Meva Cooper. How did you know that sonography was the right field for you instead of nursing or being a doctor? Well, essentially, I only knew that, sonography was going to be good for me when I started scanning in lab. There was a point in lab where I was like, I can do this. And I was scanning vascular. So I was doing legs, like legs ultrasounds, in lab. And when I was able to click the information from like what I was doing to my brain, because it's so different to learn in school, learn in class, and then to finally actually perform the scan and think about what you're doing while you're doing the scan. And when I was in lab, oh my gosh, like that was when I was like, I can do this. Um, I already kind of went into nursing or into sonography knowing nursing wasn't for me, because what I did was I did shadowing. I shadowed nursing in a hospital. I guarantee you, if you shadow a nurse, if you shadow an ultrasound technologist or sonographer, seeing what they do in action will help you realize whether or not you want to do that or not. So when I went to shadow a nurse in a hospital, I realized that that wasn't for me. And then being a doctor, I feel like that's just like too much schooling. I wanted something where I could help the patient, but also not be in school like for a very long time. So yeah. But I think sometimes you won't really know unless you go into the field. You can like go into school or take an ultrasound class, take a radiology 101 class, 100 class, see if it's something that interests you. If sonography interests you at least one bit, like do more research, think about it, watch videos, see if that's something that you feel like is something you can see yourself doing. Because every job, every healthcare job is going to be very hard, very difficult. But you'll see those TikToks out there that say that like ultrasound's easy. It's far from easy. So don't believe those. Austin Willis said, new student clinicals. Hello. I realized that I don't know the full context of vascular scans yet since it hasn't been taught yet, but I just really haven't enjoyed the vascular scans, especially DVTs and SF. Does that change the more you get into it? My clinical site does a lot of it, so I know it's part of the job. Ah. So if it hasn't been taught yet, you probably won't like it. Honestly, DVT studies are the most straightforward exams that I have ever done. It's either there's a blood clot there or it's not. It compresses or it doesn't. There's a thrombus inside of the vessel or there's not. If you haven't really enjoyed it, I'd say just wait it out, especially because you haven't been taught it yet. Especially in the beginning. When you first learn something new, it's kind of like, oh, what am I doing? Like when I finally did OBGYN at the end of my clinical practices, because in my program, we didn't actually scan OBGYN in lab. Like we did uterus and ovaries, but like babies, we didn't really scan in lab. It was all in clinicals. I didn't know the full context of OBGYN, and even though I learned it last in clinicals, I haven't really enjoyed it and I still don't really enjoy it. So you saying, does that change the more you get into it? Sometimes it can and sometimes it can't. But I'd say that doing vascular is very straightforward. And if you get some more practice with it, maybe it'll change. But if it's the last thing that you learn, it might be a little bit difficult. So I'd say just kind of wait it out. What are you guys learning right now? Just curious. And how far are you in clinicals? Like I know you said new student clinicals, but if your clinical site does a lot of it, yeah, you're definitely gonna have to learn. And it's good to know vascular because basically all hospitals do vascular, and a lot of hospitals actually require the vascular registry. This Lisa Lee says, "I appreciate you." Oh, okay, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, we'll do. Yes, okay. Um, Make sure you email me or send me a message so that I can answer your questions. Princess Perales, are you in the future leaning towards and doing management and might eventually do rest in scanning? Um, like stop scanning, is that what you mean? Doing management and not scanning at all? Uh, if that's what you mean, I do in the future want to do management. My supervisor actually the other day asked me if I would, if I was given the chance, if I was given the chance to become a supervisor, would I? And I told him, I said, it depends. It depends because the hospital that I work at is so busy, it's so crazy, and just seeing the management side of things, I'm not too sure if I want to do it at that hospital. But I would like to be a manager or supervisor in some shape, way, or form, whether it be a small company, whether it be for a outpatient clinic. I would like to be in management and do less scanning or not scan at all. For those of you who haven't seen my recent video, I actually hurt my wrist and my arm. So it kind of gave me a wake-up call, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this forever, which I would love to do ultrasound forever, but I'm already now feeling pain in my arm. So I do have to think about other things. That's why I got my MBA in healthcare management, so I can teach or I can work in management. So yes, I feel like that's what I'm leaning towards, and I appreciate you asking me. I have a lot of other things that I'm thinking about, other opportunities, and I think in this field, if you want to network, I feel like going into other opportunities, that'll be really good for you. Even just taking a management job and then later on scanning a little bit if you really wanted to, there's options in this field if you do want to stay in this field. Miva Cooper said, is anyone else in your family in the medical field or in the sonography career? So my mom, she's a nurse. My uncle, he's a dialysis nurse. They're both like charge nurses, or that's like the manager nurse or the lead nurse. Um, and I don't have any other family in the sonography career. I'm the only one who does sonography in my family. But I do have a pretty heavy medical like family. My sister, she's doing cancer research, trying to get her PhD up in Canada. So she was a biology major and she got her master's too, and now is doing her PhD. So, what is your satisfaction rate of your job too, on average, in your opinion? Honestly, I think many people love this job. If you go into sonography, you love it, and I feel like you have, not that you have to love it, but if you don't love it, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to stay in this field, because it is a very, very mental job and physical job. And I feel like just like teaching, like I feel like if you love teaching and you're satisfied with teaching, you're going to stay with it regardless of how much you get paid. I believe that teachers should get paid a lot. I'm sure you guys probably, um, I'm sure you guys know, right, that teachers don't get paid enough. And truly, I think they should get paid more. That's one thing I think that people who should teach prevent them from going into teaching, because the pay is not great. And you've got a lot of people leaving education. You've got a lot of people who want to go into education. I've been doing my research on it. Kind of, sucks that if I wanted to teach, I'd get a pay cut, because obviously you get paid more working out in the field. But I really do want to make a difference. I want to help students. I feel like I'm just so grateful for all of my teachers that were in high school, middle school, elementary school. I loved my teachers, and teachers are just literally, I mean, I know you have good and bad teachers, but the good ones and the ones who really do care about their students, just like the ultrasound technologists who are very good and care about their patients, because, there's good and bad sonographers. I feel like you really got to love your job. I think a lot of people do love this job. And that's my opinion, is that if you are not willing to do certain things and care for your patients, I don't think it's for you. And that's just not, for any job. Some jobs people are made for and some people are not made for. So that's just my opinion. Lashana said, have you ever considered purchasing one of the butterfly on-the-go transducers that hooks up to the iPhone and just being your own boss? That's currently my plan. I mean, yeah, I know that that's a possibility. You could do your own business. There's lots of people out there who do their own ultrasound business. I have thought about that. I do have that EagleView probe. It's like the curved probe and the linear probe combined in one probe. So it's similar to Butterfly, but it doesn't connect to an iPhone. It actually is wireless. So I feel like if that's your plan and you know that you will have customers for that, that's a very good option. For me, I'm not sure if I want to go into the business realm like that, to have my own business or to build my own business. But I do know there are people, like even on social media, who have opened their own business or bought their own machine and are doing that. I just feel like that's a lot of work, where, having a business is a lot of time consuming, and a lot of, I don't know. I still haven't decided whether or not that's the kind of business I want to do. So that's kind of like why I am leaning towards the teaching education route more so than that. And maybe even the management route. But I do have my MBA, so I can go into business if I wanted to. My family, actually, today's my mom's birthday. They were talking about a business that they may want to do. And I was like, well, maybe we can do that. I don't know, since I have family in the medical field. So I don't know. It's nice to know that the possibilities are endless and you really can do anything that you put your mind to. So, but you should let me know how that goes once you do start doing that. And then, if you're not in our Discord, come join our Discord and just let people, in on what you're planning on doing, and maybe you can get some support on that. But that's awesome. I am so pro everyone going and being their own bosses, because, if that's something you like to do, you should do it. Lefty Lou said, I agree 1,000% on shadowing. Yes, thank you. Me being a nurse assistant helped me realize nursing is not the path I'm going. Oh, okay. So you're a nurse assistant. I appreciate you and all that you do, because that's hard. But yes, shadowing for sure. I hope everyone can shadow, because a lot of times people don't realize what ultrasound technologists do. And I feel like if you go into it blindly, you're going to get a real hard awakening. And I'm sure you guys know that. But thank you for doing all that you do, because nursing is hard, and even being a nursing assistant is hard too. James Buzz D Clown R. Hi. I'm going to my vascular internship in January. Ooh, awesome. What were your favorite study aids to do when prepping for boards during that time? I used Edelman, because everybody uses Edelman, but I used Edelman and Davies. I did the Davies questions. I also did Sonographic Tendencies questions on his YouTube channel. So go follow him and subscribe to him. Very helpful. There's so many things on YouTube now. It's awesome. But prepping for boards, really, I did Davies and Edelman and the X Zone questions. So, and also just scanning and asking questions to my preceptors and people who do ultrasound. That's really where you gain the most knowledge. When you connect whatever you're reading in the book to what you're doing in real life, and then you can explain it. If you can read that from the textbook, understand it, perform the exam in person, and then, tell me how you did that or why you did that or what that means. For example, like the physics side of it, or the pathways of the vessels, the velocities, things like that. If you're able to do that, scan and just talk about it, conversate about it, then you'll be ready and prepared for the board exams. So good luck. Let me know how that goes, your internship in January. That's exciting. Jeffrey said, echo versus vascular, pick one. So ever since I had to get my echo exam on my heart, I was like really interested. I was like, wow, that was really cool. But I'm a little bit biased here because I am RVT. I would probably pick vascular. What about you? What's your plan? I feel like once I understood the DVT and the protocol for the venous studies on the legs, I was like, oh, I could do this. And it made sense to me. Yeah. Arms, actually, for DVTs, that was like the hardest. That was the hardest for me. It took me a long time to understand arms for some reason, especially the left arm. That was hard, but I picked vascular. Oh, I really like carotids. I forgot about carotids. I remember when I finally understood carotids in clinical, I was like, dang, carotids are fun. And then when you get really hard carotids, you're just like, oh man, I don't like carotids anymore. Austin Willis said, first semester in the program. We do 4 semesters with abdomen, pelvic, OB, small parts, and vascular in that order. Each semester building on the previous one. Ah, okay. Thank you for your insights. You're welcome. Thank you for listening and being here. Austin said, I'm transitioning from teaching to sonography. Couldn't see myself staying in education until retirement, so I made a change. Oh, okay. I need teaching tips, You got any teaching tips for me? But, I mean, sonography is a great field. I actually know a lot of people who've been doing it for over 30 years. And when I went to that AIUM conference, guys, I literally was the most baby one there. Everyone was doing ultrasound for over 20, 30 years. And I'm over here like, I've been doing it for almost 6 years, So it's really cool to see that people have been doing it for so long. Like, it's cool to know that, but make sure that you listen to your body, don't hurt yourself. A lot of people go into this and then they retire. I've had actually the hospital that I work at, since I was in clinicals, I already knew 2 people who retired from that place. So it's possible. And then if you join those Facebook groups, then for sure you can do this for a long time. It's a great field. Let's see. James said, my school is looking for another DMS instructor if teaching is something you're looking for. Oh, okay. What school? I mean, I do want to teach. I'm nervous about it. That's why I asked Austin if he's got any tips. But yeah, that'd be really cool. I just feel like, I don't know. If it's online, I feel like, should I start online? Because if I'm in Vegas, there's only 2 schools and I have less choices basically for me to teach. I was thinking about going into being like an advisor or a counselor or something like that. But yeah, I have, things I need to think about, options to choose from, and hope that it works. James said, I went into school blindly, but I come from paramedicine and then some other professions. But I wanted to get back into medicine, so I found something that would be less patient care but still helpful. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Thanks for what you've done. And you went into school blindly. So how do you feel so far? Jeffrey said, I'm currently an MA in a podiatrist clinic. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for what you do. My friend's an MA, and I know you guys do a lot. So I think it's definitely going to be a different change of pace. but being an MA is a lot of work. And I feel like you get more, you deserve more pay as an MA. I feel like everyone deserves more pay, especially with this economy. So I thought about doing vascular for lower extremities, but we'll see where I end up. Well, some people like doing vascular and only doing vascular. Honestly, if I could work in a vascular lab and only do vascular, I'd probably like that too. Maybe eventually. I don't know. There's so many options. You can work in an outpatient clinic and just do vascular. You can make your own schedule, have your own contract, and come up with something where you can get a certain amount of pay per patient or per hour, especially if you have connections. If you're in a podiatrist clinic, I'm sure you can find different doctors that would need a sonographer, and you can contract there and make money doing that, and build your schedule and your network list and client list. And doctors can order exams through their office. So I know out here in Vegas, we have those imaging centers where doctors send their patients to get their exams done, or you can just order it in your own office. If a doctor has an ultrasound machine in their office, they can just hire you and you can do their ultrasounds. I know this girl, and she was super close to this doctor, and they just bought her an ultrasound machine, and now she just does their ultrasounds in their clinic. I mean, you could probably do that and then make your own schedule. Pretty awesome, huh? Charmin Jahan, hello. Hello, I'm about to face an interview from my admission in a sonography school. How can I prepare for this? Can you help, please? Thank you. Oh, congratulations for this interview. Interviews are hard to get. I do have a video on interviews, so go check that out. Preparing wise, I feel like, write down all these questions that they may ask you. For example, why ultrasound? Why do you want to do this? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? They may talk about your grades and your past grades. I don't know if you've been doing your prereqs at that school, for example. But to prepare for it, I'd say go through questions, try to answer them in a certain way where it makes you sound like very interested, and where you're going to work very hard, and that you would basically do anything to get into this program. But if you have any kind of experience with just wanting to help people or something that'll make you stand out, I say bring that into the interview. When they say tell me about yourself, or come up with some reason that you feel is why you're passionate to get into this school, because there's going to be a lot of people, I'm sure, that they're going to see an interview, and you need to stand out. So check out that video. I give actual questions and examples on how to answer the questions. But essentially, just let them know that you're willing to do what it takes, that you're going to learn as much as you can, that you're going to work very hard, and go over questions. You're welcome. Jackie G, hello. I know I haven't been live in forever, so it was very hard for me to go live because I didn't know how to work it, but I'm so glad you guys are here, so thank you for being here. Jeffrey said, starting in January. Yay. Can't wait to hear about it. Keep me updated. Foster. Oh, hi, Foster. How are you? It's been a while. I literally haven't been on here in forever. I really haven't been on here forever. But I heard that if you go live and if you do the little shorts, you'll bring more people towards your page. And you guys, we reached 15,000. So yay. Thank you guys so much. I can't believe it. I don't know how I got here. I know there's lots of people out there who have way more subscribers, but for me, it's I would like to have, I wouldn't mind even having less subscribers, but people who keep returning are people who find my content helpful. So I appreciate you guys for being here. James said, Southeast Tech, Sioux Falls, Is that South Dakota? I feel like I've heard of that school before. Do you know anyone in our Discord that goes there? I feel like I've heard of that school before. Is it all in person? I would love to teach, but then that means I'd have to move over there, right? Hi, Patricia. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Emma. How are you? Are you working? Decky said it's Declan. Hello. I figured it's a cool handle. Decky G. Princess said, do you have any idea how much is the max will / can a sonographer as far as pay? I know it depends where you're located and company and specialty. In your opinion, what is the range right demand for new grad? Okay. Okay, yeah. So it does depend. So now it does depend on where you live, your city, and what they're offering. If you're in a hospital, if you're an outpatient. This question is just so broad. I've seen new grads get paid as low as $18 an hour, but really it should be like $25 or $30. I think it's because too they know that new grads will take any position and any pay just to get their foot in the door. But the max, I've seen people say that they've made like $80 an hour. $75, $80 an hour. Just depends on where you live though, because like most of the times that's in like California. I heard that Florida's pay was really low. So if anyone of you are in Florida, you can confirm or deny. But I heard that Florida doesn't get paid as much. Out here in Vegas, I know that some of the highest paid sonographers out here are like 65 to 70. But that is also with the amount of experience of years. So I know people who've been doing this for like 30 years. And I've only been doing this for 6 years. So it just depends. And if you're per diem, you usually get paid more as a per diem sonographer. The range for a new grad, Jesus says 30 minimum. Yeah, I feel like I would say shoot for $30 because they like to lowball people when they're new grads. Let's see. James said, loved it from the first scan. Some things are tricky, but I will be going to my internship where I'll be doing 8 or more scans a day, so I'm not really worried. Learning more through school of all the things we do with vascular assessments amazed me and brought on more fascination. I love that. See, so essentially, like, if you really have an inkling of like, oh, I think I can do this, or if I have a little interest or spark in it, yeah, definitely look into doing this career. And you loved it from the first scan. I love that. It really is almost like a passionate type of thing. Like you want to do this. You want to find what's going on. You want to discover what's going on in that person's body, because it's up to you. It's up to the sonographer. And I really like that. It's like an independent job. No one's telling me what pictures to take. No one's telling me how to angle my probe. I take all of those skills with me and everything that I've learned and then do the best that I can as a sonographer. And we do it without people knowing. That's part of the career, is that people don't know how hard we're actually working, how many scans we're actually doing, how we're manipulating our bodies just to get that one perfect picture. And over time, you'll realize you can't get every single thing perfect. Over time, you'll get faster knowing that not every picture is going to be beautiful. But what matters is the diagnostic answer and that you're finding what's going on with the patient. And what I'm finding is what you should be finding. If we're both scanning the same patient, I should find the same thing that you're finding. And taking the time to see what's going on in the leg, in the arteries and the veins, and being fascinated by it. Because we're like people who are interested in what we're doing. Like we're not just taking a picture of that liver. We're actually searching through that liver, trying to see what's wrong with it, trying to find if there's something in the duct, or if there's a cyst, or if there's a mass, or what is that thing. It's very, very interesting. You do have to think a lot on this job. James said, I'm not a member of the Discord. If you want to be, you should join and talk to us all the time. If it's in person, yeah, I've got to figure out what I want to do. Let's see. Mary Jane, do you think radiologic tech is a good starting place? I think so. I think so because you can, see what you like. You'll be in the trenches. You'll be seeing, what everyone does, what every modality does. Honestly, like if I could, I would love to like go learn X-ray, CAT scan, MRI, nuclear medicine. A lot of people who like go into sonography are like, "Oh, I should have done nuclear medicine or something." But it depends. There's no limit to what you can learn or do. I think that's a good starting place because you can see a lot of the different modalities. Jesus said, when you take call, that's how you really make money out of the gate. Yes, because you can make money with call. I remember one of my coworkers who does not take call anymore, but she said that she made like over $1,000 one night, just in one night by doing call. They must have called her a bunch of times or something, because $1,000 in a few hours, that's cool. Bonbon said, are you going to be uploading this live stream to the channel? Yes, I am. Hi, Bonbon. It'll be there for people to look back at and see what we were talking about earlier. Emma said, hey, just got home from class. We had our first ultrasound physics test. And it was so crazy. I will tell you everything in the Zoom. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. If you guys are not in the Discord, we are going to hang out on Zoom. So there will be a link in the Discord. There will also be a link in the Facebook group that we have so that you can come join us on Zoom. We're going to hang out. I believe it's going to be on a Sunday because we did do the highest vote. That's what we do on Discord. We always vote, and whatever the highest day is, we do that day. Right now, it's Sunday, October 15, and it's going to be around 5 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. CST, 8 p.m. EST if you want to come join us. So I can't wait to hear about your physics test and all about your classes and clinical. Tell people in here how it's been going. I want to hear. James said, it also expands on past patient experiences where I didn't know what was wrong and can now have answers to underlying questions. Yes, actually, I really like this career because you learn so much. And when patients ask me, I tell them like what it could be. They're like, oh, I have pain in my abdomen. And then I can like explain all these different things. Or, oh, I have swelling in my ankles. What's this? Why is it happening? And I can explain to them what I know. I mean, I always give them the preface that I'm not a doctor. I'm like, I'm not a doctor, but in my experience, this is what I think and this is what I've seen. It's kind of like I don't know. You learn so much, you've got so much knowledge in your brain that you're able to help others by what you've learned. So I've learned, obviously, that when your ankles are swelling or your feet are swollen, obviously you lift your feet up so that the blood flow goes back to the heart and then hopefully the swelling goes down. But there's also a lot of things you can learn on this field that has nothing to do with ultrasound, and you can help patients that way too. Hi, Amanda. She just got off of work and wanted to say hi. Hello. I hope you're going to be there on October 15 because I want to talk to you about all the things that you've been going through and your work. I've been seeing your posts, so I want to know. I want to know what's going on if you're willing to share. Yay. Okay, cool. I know I'm finally like getting back into the social media stuff because our new house is coming together. It's coming together. So I'm going to be going on live more. I will be doing more Zoom hangouts, which we usually do once a month. We used to do once a month, and then I got all crazy MIA and stuff. And I'm going to do more lives because this is fun talking to you guys. But I will schedule the lives so you guys know when it's going to be going lives. If you guys want to be on more lives, just let me know. Yes, James. You can email me at lolgeselle@gmail.com and I'll send the link through there. I don't have it on my laptop right now. I have to get it on my phone. So I'll email you or on Instagram, lolgeselle. I can send it to you on a DM if you DM me. Um, if you want to join our Facebook group, a lot of my videos in the description box has a link to our Facebook group and I can give it to you on there. There's so many different options. So just let me know so we can get you in there because I want you to be in there. And so yeah, join our Discord. Amanda's gonna be there, so yay, can't wait. Bonbon says you have to email. Yes. So, definitely hit me up. Princess said I would love to join the Zoom. Will you be putting the link anywhere on IG too? I can only manage to have one social media. So are you on Instagram? Yes, on Instagram. Do you follow me? Send me a DM if you do so that I can add you. Guys, honestly, there's like so many pages. I can't really like put handles to people unless you message me and I've had a conversation with you and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, I'm not a highness. You're a princess, though. I love it. Um, so yeah, message me and then I can add you and stuff like that, and I'll send you a link. Um, honestly, if anyone wants to be in the Zoom, anyone can come. I want more people. The more people, the better. More conversations we have, and it's really fun. Sometimes we host like study sessions, we can all study together. Let's see. Mary Jane said, cool. I start rad school next year. I'm nervous because it's been over 15 years since I've been in school. You're going to have a grand old time. James responded, said it's been 15 years since I graduated from MSU Billings. I understand your nervousness. After I got over the initial response to being the oldest one there, it wasn't bad. Yeah, honestly, this career or like any career in general, if you go in and you're going in from not being in school for a long time, it is going to be nerve-wracking. It is going to be scary. But just do your best. See if you can like form study groups, make some friends so you don't have to go through it alone. It's scary at first, but once you get in there and you get the hang of it, especially with classes nowadays, I don't know how school is, even for like little kids. I don't have any kids, but like for elementary school kids and middle school kids, I'm always so curious how schools are nowadays. Like, what is it like? I'm sure there's people who know um, way before we had like projectors and stuff, obviously. But I'm like, now with all the technology, what do they do? But yeah, definitely just take your time, make some friends, join our Discord group. You can vent on there. It's a great venting session up on there. Ask for help. YouTube for sure is great. And we're with you every step of the way. There's people in that Discord too that do X-ray, CT. And then I can also connect you with other people who are rad techs as well. Brooke, she's one of them. She does ultrasound and X-ray. We've got MRI man, and we've got your X-ray tech. So we've got some other allied mentors on there. So yeah, it's definitely a community where we will help you and you won't be alone. So I appreciate you for being here, and I hope to see you join. And you should come join our Zoom. Emma said, I did a renal exam all by myself yesterday. Woohoo! And the tech kept all of my images. That's amazing. See, how do you feel? I did it all without her being in the room. I felt on top of the world. So proud of myself because clinicals are not easy. Congratulations. I hope that gives you a lot of confidence to know that you did it. You did it by yourself. You did it without her being there. That means you know what you're doing. And think about it. Literally a year ago, we were talking about how like you wanted to just do ultrasound and you couldn't wait to go into clinicals. So that's exciting. Congratulations. Honestly, once you realize what you need to do for an exam and you get your protocol down, all you have to do is zoom through the kidneys, make sure you don't see any cysts, stones, hydro, masses. Make sure everything you see when you sweep through, sweep, 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 sweep. And if you don't see anything, you take your respective images. You take your lateral, medial, mid, pictures, color, sag, trans, super, superior to inferior. I say soup. I was gonna say soup because I do like soup dash inf for superior to inferior. But yeah, that's awesome. And with time, you will get faster. Just stay keeping on doing slow things, getting your images correctly. Because as a student, we want you guys to take quality images, know what images you need to get, do your protocol, and bam, wham. You're preparing yourself to be a sonographer all by yourself. That's exciting. So you just keep on doing that. Keep on doing what you did and what you're doing because that's awesome. Mary Jane said, thanks for the advice. I'm definitely taking the time out now to restudy anatomy and med term. So medical terminology. Ooh. Medical terminology really helps. There's a lot of words, prefixes, suffixes that you need to know. It will very much so help you in the long run. Yes, we still use Google, but still, it'll be good to know a lot of those things. And you learn as you go. Anatomy, yeah, that was one of my hardest classes. But the good news is when you're out in the field, yes, you need to know your anatomy for sonography. In rad tech, I do know that, yes, you need to know anatomy, but it's more so positioning and understanding the images and the cuts that you need for your images, which is pretty cool. Your X-ray tech, he's got some cool videos, and also MRI Man, if you want to check those out. They have some great videos on their pages, and they teach a lot of that stuff. So that's awesome. Restudying is great to do. Just get your mind started with what you're about to get yourself into. Because, yeah, I know school is hard, but you can do it. Yay, that's exciting. Flora F. Hello. They said, hey, I just started the sonography school. This is my 7th week. So far, it's not easy. Scanning else. So when did you actually start feeling a little confident of your scanning skills? Thank you. Oh, well, congratulations on starting your school. It's your 7th week. Just think about it. You have a bunch more weeks to go. So obviously, it's not going to be easy to scan, and you're going to get all different kinds of patients out in the field, right? But just do your best to keep on practicing, keep on scanning and scanning, keep on reading, keep on watching videos, asking questions. When did I start feeling confident of my scanning skills? To be honest, it didn't happen until in clinicals. So it's going to take months and months and months. I did a few months of labs. And while, yes, labs were, they helped me understand how to scan and do protocols, but the skills and scanning better came with clinical. So don't feel like you're behind or anything like that. And everyone has their own different pace of learning. Some people may learn faster and some people may take a little bit more time. So just give yourself some grace and know that there's going to be way more practicing. Honestly, they say that people aren't really confident in a lot of things until after a few years. I'd say once you hit 5 years, that's when you're completely comfortable. Even so, after that, you still have questions. You still question yourself. It's still going to be hard. Sonographers who've been doing this for 20 years still see things for the very first time. So, yeah, you're just right in the beginning, 7th week. So congratulations on scanning and doing your thing. Just get your hand on that probe as much as you can. Princess said, did you ever have or had in your experience been called out by a radiologist? Unfortunately, yes, and I feel like you will be called out in your entirety of your career. Um, I feel like this part is the part where not a lot of people talk about. Um, Radiologists are a big deal in our field because they're the ones reading our scans. And half the time, honestly, this is like the honest truth here. I'm giving y'all honesty here, okay? Just like I do on the podcast with Lynn on sonographers in the cities, okay? We say all the real, honest stuff. Um, Half the time, radiologists, like, I feel like they don't really, I don't know. Some of them look at the images, but I feel like some of them don't. And they like just read your report. So you'll find out when you go into the field that they really do depend on you. So when they do look at your images and when they actually see something that they don't agree with or that they think is really bad. So I have a few like really good pediatric radiologists. They chewed me out. Okay. And like there have been so many times where I've cried. Um, Especially in the beginning stages, like the first few years. Oh my gosh. I'm sure I could still cry today if I really wanted to. But essentially, they will chew you out and they will call you out. It's just inevitable. I mean, we're not perfect. We're human. They're also not perfect and they are also human. But they have a lot of stress on their shoulders too. And sometimes they have really hard days. Um, it wasn't me specifically, but I do remember working at an outpatient facility where this radiologist straight up like yelled at a sonographer and was like basically giving her all this crap. And she had to bring the patient back. Um, but then she ended up not working under that radiologist anymore and just went to like a different location and she doesn't really have to deal with him. But yeah, they can be kind of intense, radiologists. Um, and you almost have to just like deal with it, which kind of sucks too. But they're the ones that sign off your report and sign off your images. Like we just take the images, um, which people say, we just take pictures. But we do just take the images at the end of the day. And then if it's not what they want, sometimes some radiologists are just kind of mean. And you have to really have not like a thick, what is it? What do they say? Thick skull, thick heart? I don't know, thick spine? I'm not sure. You do have to have like a personality where like you can just take it sometimes. Um, but there are toxic environments that if you don't need to be there, you can get out of there. Um, there are unfortunately doctors like that. Yeah, thick skin, girl. I literally was like thick heart, thick skull. You do have to have thick skin. In the healthcare field in general, I've had nurses be so rude, and I'm like, why are you so rude? Like, why are you rude for? I'm just trying to help you. And then there are some rude sonographers. At the end of the day, there are just rude people out there. But radiologists, those are the most like, because they're the ones you're directly dealing with. Um, so yeah, I have been called out. I also have been called out for good reason though. A lot of times they'll be like, "Oh, good job on your images, great images." One time I had done like 4 baby brains, and I guess he called, left a message, and he was just like saying this long message about how I did all the images really well, like perfectly. Like the frequency was great, the focal zones were perfect. He said there were no issues with them, and I got really lucky because I had like 4 normal baby brains in a row. That doesn't always happen. That's actually very rare. So I'm guessing because he read all 4 of those, he was like, I'm gonna tell her how good she did. Those are rare. You get called out more about bad exams than them complimenting you on your exams being good. One of my coworkers, she works graveyard. She said that one of the resident radiologists told her that she had a great abdomen scan. And she was like, that's weird. They never say that. So just depends on the radiologist. But you're going to get a lot of like random personalities in this field. James said, I'm traveling to my internship site this weekend for a site visit Tuesday. Is there any off-the-wall questions I should ask outside of schedule expectations, etc.? Maybe something you wish you would have asked but never did. How far is your internship site? Schedule and expectations. I mean, I guess I would say ask them, like, obviously just ask them, are you going to be able to scan everything? Like, you're going to you want to get your hands wet and scan whatever you want, just be like, you're willing to scan any exam. Is that possible for you? Like, because there are some places where they don't allow you to do certain things. Let's say, is there any like procedures or like, are they planning on letting you scan everything? Maybe you can ask them, oh, wow, 6.5 hours drive, and it's in Madison, Wisconsin? Is WI Wisconsin? I don't know a lot of East Coast, Midwest stuff. Yeah, definitely. I feel like ask them, like, ask them what, I know you're saying outside of schedule and expectations, but obviously, what do they expect from you? Is there anything that you can do more that will enhance your internship there? Is there anything that, you should bring? Are you traveling 6.5 hours back and forth? Are you going to stay there for a while? How's that going to work? But I mean, I'm glad you got a clinical site, an internship site. That's awesome. That's actually one of the things that I have been curious about. When people have online schools, where do they do their clinical sites? And how do they do that? James said, when people yell, I think, when people yell at you, just stare at them with a confused face until they get it all out and kill them with kindness in any response you give. That's perfect. Just stare at them. Yeah, I know. I'm just like, when people complain or whatever, I just let them, right? You never know what they're going through. Just let them complain and do your best to just like, listen. Don't react to it. You will learn a lot about people, how to interact with people, how to deal with different situations. And you won't learn unless you're put in these situations. I learned a lot by just working on call shifts as a new grad and doing stuff by myself. I had no one to ask at the time. So I really was like learning everything at that time on my own, just by experiencing it and being part of those experiences. It was really crazy, honestly. Like, working on call as a new grad, no one to ask. It's like after midnight, and you're just like, I'm in this situation. I got to figure it out. It's kind of interesting, but you learn from that. So James said, no, I'm renting a room. Okay, that's good. So you're renting a room. Are you staying there for a while? That's going to be interesting, and I hope it's fun. But I don't know, most of the questions I feel like you won't really find out until you're actually in the internship. But make sure you ask, like, what is it that you need? Do you need to bring anything? Is there certain things they expect from you? Is it a full time? Like, are you going to be there Monday through Friday? How's that going to work? Oh, hi, Tamara. Thank you for the advice dealing with toxic folks. I sure see it everywhere, including my current job and in my classes. Oh, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know if it's the world today or what, but people just like aren't afraid to like be mean or rude. I'm just like, but then you never know what they're going through, right? We're all going through something. Um, you just learn from it. Learn from it. Try not to do it. Try not to be toxic yourself, and try to stay positive through it all. But in your classes, like, how do you see it in your classes? Like, how are people toxic? How's that going? I feel like there's toxicity in any field, any job, any place. It's very sad, but it is the real truth. Princess said this question is out sono topic, but will you consider sharing how you and your hubby decided to buy a house, or more so, the process on where to start? Yeah, actually, I was interested in doing that. I didn't know if people would watch it, but I'm going to do it anyway because, like, my page is a lot of just random stuff in my life. Um, Sometimes I wonder if people are here for ultrasound or if they're here for the other stuff, but I do want to talk about that. I do want to talk about our relationship. He comes from a different cultural background, and so do I. His parents are from Bangladesh, and my parents are from Philippines. So our relationship is a bit different, not your normal relationship. Um, some people have their opinions and things that they want to say, but it is what it is. But I did want to bring light to this kind of relationship and the process and how we're doing it. And of course, it's like modern day. We are in 2023. There are different ways you can date, and anyone. I believe anyone can date anyone as long as they respect each other, and have the same values and goals and things like that. So I will definitely share the house process, and where to start. It was actually very hard, especially because in this housing, um, what is it? This house market. Yes, it's a strange house market. And after we got, legally married, we, were able to move in when the house was ready and all that stuff. So it it was a lot. I wish we had a realtor because we did not use a realtor. But yeah, I'll definitely share. And there were a lot of actually YouTube videos that I did research with and I watched. So definitely consider doing that. And if you want to buy a house, definitely have to look into expert people. Just like how people want to do ultrasound, I tell them to like research and do things like that. That's what I was doing with the housing thing. Honestly, we probably still, I don't even know how we did it, but we did it, and we probably could have done it better. Or um, I want to post videos about like mistakes that we made during that process. So yeah, definitely will do videos on that. And I appreciate you asking because I didn't know if people would be interested. So thank you. Shay said, "Hey, do you feel like a trade school is best or going to community college? Thanks so much." Hi, Shay. Honestly, it depends on what you want and where you can get your education from, what your long-term goal is, which program you're going to do your ultrasound program in. If both the trade school and the community college both have the ultrasound school, I would go with the one that's probably cheaper. And that's just me personally. But if you have the option between a trade school and a community college, um, and they had different requirements, things like that. Those are the things you need to focus on. Will they let you sit for ARDMS? Are you going to have to find your own clinicals? Will they place you into clinicals? There's actually so much that goes into picking your school that I feel like what you need to do is lay out your pros and cons for the trade school and the community college and then see which one fits your pathway best. I wish that for like cheaper purposes, I wish that I went to the community school and started with some of my prereqs there, transferred those prereqs to the university college so that it would have been cheaper, and then applied for the ultrasound program at the university college. That's what I wish I would have done because it's different here in Vegas. So just like Depending on your place, the trade school and the community college, what matters is if you're going to be able to sit for ARDMS. If you're doing ultrasound, I don't even know if you're doing ultrasound, but if you are doing ultrasound, definitely think about which one will let you sit for the board exams, because that's the most important part, is sitting for board exams, getting your registry, and being able to take those. So honestly, because you can't go wrong going to a trade school or community college. It just depends. So yeah. Oh, you're doing ultrasound in Vegas. Ah, what's the trade school? I would like to know, because that'd be cool. That'd be cool to like know a little bit more about it. I would love to know. College, yeah. So I wish I did the community college. So I wish I went to like CSN. That's what Emma's doing right now. But I wish I went to CSN and then took that, went to UNLV. I wish I did that. It would have been cheaper. Me, I'm just all about like, let's do the cheaper route. That's just me though. Tamara said, hello. Hi. I love your videos. I am applying to Rad Tech School in January. Yay! That's exciting. Congratulations on applying to Rad Tech School. We're definitely going to want to hear your experience. If you want to join our Discord, come join our Discord. I said it earlier, you can join on through email. I can send you the link to the Discord on Instagram or on my Facebook group. I just love seeing everyone and hearing their stories. That's what I love the most. I really find joy in seeing your guys' progress, and I want to know you guys personally, and I truly want to be like y'all's friend, okay? Like y'all my friends. My friends and family. So congratulations. I hope you get in, and let us know if you need anything, if you need any help. James said my internship runs January to end of July. Ooh, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. That's going to be a long time. First time away from my daughter for more than a few nights. My wife is in the military, so it's a strange role reversal being the one that is away. Aw. James said, I'd call them fun haters, Tamara. You do you, girl. Yeah, it really is. It's hard. But you're doing, like, I tell people all the time, like, it's a sacrifice that you're going to have to make for a short amount of time. So if you're going to do this sacrifice for this short amount of time, and you're going to reap the rewards for this much longer period of time. When people are trying to get into the program, I'm like, you're going to wait a year to get in or 2 years to get in, but you're going to have 25 years of your career, 25 years of your career, all for just 2 years in a school or 4 years in a school. It's pretty awesome to do. And, you're very strong for you to be able to go and be away from them. That's going to suck. But I do like that there's like FaceTime and like all these new things now today where you can stay connected with them. And I hope that you really like your internship. I know they're truly like ups and downs. You're going to have ups and downs, and I know you know that. But we'll be here with you every step of the way. And we want to hear about it all in Discord. Tamara said, criticism when it comes to the discussion modules and in labs. Some people criticize my personality because I'm bubbly? Gee, that's mean. Stay bubbly. Tamara, that's awesome though. Like, you're bubbly. You have to have a positive personality. Let them, like James said, fun haters. Just be however you want to be. And, that's how you're giving off yourself to the world. And I feel like you are a great human being for being bubbly and positive, and that's what I've been trying to do. Hi, babe.
Hello?
Emma actually was talking to you through the chat, so are you still in the chat?
No.
Oh, okay. And they also want to know stuff about you and us, so yeah, that's exciting.
Oh, what's up?
But she said, Emma said, yes, do it to all the videos, because I said like we were going to do like house stuff and relationship stuff. And then she said, if Siam is watching, you still owe us birria tacos.
Yeah, when's she coming over?
He asked when you're coming over. So, but now that we're in our new house, you can come over, Emma. And then I should throw like an ultrasound party. What if I threw like an in-house ultrasound party with strangers? Just kidding. They're not real strangers. I talked to Emma.
Would you put like jelly all over the house? People fall down.
We do like a Halloween party or something. But Princess also said, she said, just wanted to shout out him for being a cook. Seems like viewing your IG stories and kudos on taking care of our Disney Giselle. Wink. Thanks, babe.
Thanks.
Thank you, Princess. Please message me on Instagram. He just loves cooking. And I call him Chef Babe for a reason because he always cooks and stuff. So she said, thanks for answering my questions. I love it. Thank you for asking questions. And Shay said, so helpful. Thanks so much. I'm in Vegas. I'm doing ultrasound. They provide all the things I said. Emma said, Shay, I'm in Vegas as well. Tamara, I definitely will share my experiences. It will be in Northern California. That's exciting. That's exciting. So just let us know. Keep us updated. Come to our Zoom hangout on October 15. Yes, October 15, you guys. Come to the Zoom hangout. I will send the link on all my social media platforms. Appreciate you guys for tuning into my life. Sometimes I feel like it's boring, but if you guys are watching, I'll keep doing videos. Peter said, hi, Peter. Did you work during school and clinicals? I took time off work, but may find work again, but was told my schedule may be very tight. If so, Echo has been so fun, but tough. Congratulations on doing Echo. Yes, it's definitely tough. I did actually work during school and clinicals. So here's my thing. If you find a job that you can do that's not full-time or that is on opposite days of when you do school or clinicals, do it. But like you said, if your schedule is going to be like very tight, it just kind of depends on your situation. What I did was like for our program at UNLV, we had like 2 days of school, like classes, and we didn't do labs until after classes were done. So in that sort of way, I was able to work. I was a server, I was a hostess, so I was doing like jobs where it was easy for me to just take some shifts if I wanted or to give away shifts if I didn't want them. So if you wanted to make some money, I feel like doing one of those types of jobs that'll allow you to do that or has a more flexible schedule, it is possible. So yeah, definitely decide if you think that you want to do that for yourself, because some people don't want to work while they're in school. I know a lot of people who actually stopped working when they went to school and clinicals, but I stayed working in school and clinicals. So it's all up to you. Just depends. And then Shay said it's Las Vegas College. Oh, okay. You know, someone told me about that. Who was it? One of the transporters told me that they are going to go to school at Las Vegas College. And I had no idea. Oh, thank you, babe.
That's mine.
No?
Oh. You want a chip?
Sure, I'll have a chip. Thanks. You can't talk and eat chips at the same time.
So I gave you the one.
Where are you going?
Back to work.
Enjoy work.
Some of us have a job.
Enjoy work. Yeah, so what was I saying? Sorry. One of our transporters told me about Las Vegas College. So I need to do some more research on them because that's a new program, right? So Shay, when you join the Discord, introduce yourself, let us know. I want to know about Las Vegas College. I'm going to have to look that up because for the longest time, it's only been UNLV and CSN out here in Las Vegas. So definitely come join the Discord. We would love to talk more. Princess said yes. So hopefully you are able to come hang out, you know. Tamara said that would be fun or online. We could do one. Yes, we could do an online party. I love hanging out. We can all hang out. Tamara said, how did you keep a balance during school and clinicals to relax? I mean, during that time, I would make sure that like I was still hanging out with friends. I was still doing stuff on the side, like, giving yourself a brain break because it is tough. It's a hard field. School is very intense. Clinical is very intense. And you're just doing that in the beginning of your career, right? You're learning everything. And I feel like if you learn work-life balance during school and clinicals, then you can take that with you when you are actually working your career and your job. I don't know if you guys know, but Sano Smallshaw, she's on Instagram. Took her a long time to find some jobs, but now she has 6 jobs. So I feel like if you have that many jobs, you have to understand how to manage your time. I always had 2 jobs. I've never had 3 jobs at a time, but I've always typically had 2 jobs at a time. And with that, you have to kind of understand where it's time for you to take a break and to like step back and do something other than ultrasound, other than studying, and just give yourself a break, a brain break. You need a brain break. You need to take time to do stuff that you love. If you like to go bowling, go bowling. If you like to swim, go swim. If you like to read a book, sit down, drink some tea or coffee, and read a book. I feel like we're in such a go everyday type of living that sometimes it's hard to just take a step back and just focus on yourself. So when I hurt my arm, I was out for about almost 12 weeks. And that was hard. I felt weird not working. But also before that, I was very, very busy. I was working like 6 days a week. I was doing a lot of stuff. I was working hard. I was dealing with a lot of stress. And Princess asked, do you ever feel burnout at times? Yeah. I felt a lot of burnout. I do have a video a long time ago. I don't remember, it was like 2021. But it was a burnout video. And I talked about it and why I was burnt out. So you can go watch that video. I was like sitting in a car and it was like me talking about my burnout. And at times you'll feel that burnout because you don't balance yourself. You don't relax. You don't take the time to give time to yourself. So when I was out for that 12 weeks, it was weird at first, but it was actually really nice to just not think about work, not have to scan, not have to do anything. It was very stressful for a lot of it because dealing with FMLA paperwork, dealing with insurance, dealing with my work, my supervisor, people talking, things like that. It was hard, I'll tell you. I was like crying a lot of the days. But then when I finally was like okay and relaxing and got my FMLA approved and things like that, I finally was at peace and able to just chill. That was when I was posting all those videos at the end of that. So people didn't know that I actually wasn't working. I did not tell anyone on social media that I wasn't working until the very end of it. So feeling burnt out is real. So when I saw that the girl had 6 jobs, I just pray that she doesn't get burnt out. And I pray that she organizes her time in a way that gives her mental breaks and gives her time for herself, for her family, and things like that. Because you can have lots of jobs. You can have lots of per diem jobs. But the way you schedule them, that can really make or break how you feel and the burnout. Because a lot of times we burn ourselves out by just saying yes to everything. Yes, I'll take that shift. Yes, I'll take that call. That's how we burn out in this field. And working at places that are so busy. Like my hospital is so busy. Our census in the ER sometimes is like 160, 170, 180. Some other hospitals, the census are like 80, 90. And then some of the smaller ones are like 30, 40. But typically in Las Vegas, we've got a lot of really big hospitals out here. So it gets really busy and you can get burnt out quick. Amy's here. Hi, Amy. Hello, how are you? Thanks for being here. Glad to see you and Emma and everyone that's here. It's so cool. We are recruiting more people for the Discord family and talking about what kind of videos I'm going to do in the future. Also, talking about burnout. How's classes? How's school? How's everything? How's work? Tamara said, thank you for the advice. I will find hobbies. Yes, definitely find hobbies to do. Um, I'm sure you guys see, but we don't really have hobbies. Hobbies. We just like to eat out and go try new things. James said, I have to jet. Thanks for the chat. I sent you an Instagram DM. Awesome. Thank you so much. I will send you the link. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here, James. Can't wait to hear about everything that you're gonna go through. For those of you guys who missed it, James is gonna have internships soon, and I'm excited for that. That is the part that like really gets me going. I mean, I've been doing this for like 6 years now, but I really like seeing people get into their programs or into clinicals and just starting to learn everything. Because like once you guys start to go and be sonographers on your own, you'll see what it's like, your own experiences. But the beginning part of it, like Emma getting into clinicals, like I was so excited for that. And I can't wait to hear all the things that Emma's going through right now. But yeah, we don't, Sam and I don't know. We just like going to the gym. We like to eat out, like to try new things. Obviously, you guys know I love Disney. I have to make that a point in everything I do. Um, because for some reason, that's just part of me and my life. Um, a lot of in my new house, we have like little hints of Disney, like be our guest is our sign, and then our little magnet board on the fridge is from the Disney cruise. um, I've got, oh, my napkin holder is a Mickey Mouse shaped napkin holder. They're just like little subtle Disney things. I do have like Pua and Rocket, little like plushes, and I've got a Winnie the Pooh pillow. It's not like overly Disney, but as you can see, there's like nothing on our walls. Absolutely nothing. So I want to start getting stuff on our walls, but I don't know. Decorating a house is just I feel like it's hard because like I want to make sure it's nice. It's gonna be there for a minute, so it's like I know you can change it up and stuff, which for like holidays and seasons and things like that. I just feel like I don't have the knack for that yet. But just moving in has been so exciting, and trying to figure everything out. So, um, Tamara says, "I love Disney and the gym." Yay! Me too. That's our thing. We love Disney. We love the gym. That's pretty much life. I started going back to Orange Theory. Um, so I stopped it because of my whole heart thing, the whole SVT thing. But they tend to be the only ones that really motivate me after all of this time. Back in like 2017, 2018, 2019, when we were just working out like at Lifetime or EOS, LBC, things like that. Sometimes it's hard to just like get up and go to the gym. But when we go to Orange Theory, it's so exciting, and I love the coaches. So that has been fun to go back to Orange Theory. I don't know if you guys have ever been or seen it, but it's like an hour class, and it's a very heart rate driven, like cardio type workout. But it's like dark in the room, and it's really fun, and I just love like the motivation that they have for you. I really feel like I'm built on motivation. Like I really need to be motivated to do something, and that's why I was watching like so many productive motivational YouTube videos, and it really does help. Like when I'm cleaning or when I'm eating, I like to watch motivational videos and stuff like that. So that's part of what I like to do. But if you guys don't have any more ultrasound questions or anything like that, I'm gonna end this soon. I appreciate you guys being here and asking all of your ultrasound questions. Lots of people came by. I really am so happy. I'm appreciative of you guys. Um, there's a lot of changes coming to our podcast as well as to my YouTube channel. I'm getting back into everything, so bear with me. I appreciate you guys for sticking with me throughout this whole entire time. And yeah, I just hope to see you guys in the future lives. I will start to do more, but I will place dates and times when I'm going to go live. And I want to know like what's best for you guys. So I'm going to do like polls and things like that so that you can see when's the best time to go live and like talk to you guys. And then like maybe different topics and things like that. Amy said, my undergrad is interior architecture. Start creating a Pinterest of spaces you like and why to begin your creative wheels turning. Ooh, I like that. Okay. So I'll start with Pinterest. Yeah, because like literally all we have is like our couch and our TV. So I'm definitely going to be needing some interior design help. But I'll definitely create a Pinterest. I haven't actually really done that yet. So yeah, I'll definitely do that. Tamara said, I'm good at the moment. Thank you, Giselle. Appreciate this. Thank you. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so, so much. Can't believe we spoke for over an hour and a half. Crazy. I miss talking to you guys. And I'm pretty sure my last live was a long time ago. Oh, and next year I will be studying for OBGYN. You guys know that OBGYN is the worst thing for me. So we're going to be studying together. And hopefully I'll pass that next year. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And tune in to Sonographers in the Cities on Friday. We actually got our new episode. Happy Medical Ultrasound Awareness Month. Follow me on Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram, you guys, so that I can add you. And I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here. See you guys on October 15th on the Discord Zoom Hangout. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk soon. Message me and DM me on Instagram. Bye.